Peoples, everybody, this is a brand spanking new podcast. I'm sitting here with some young bucks, the future of this world. We're going to have just a general conversation. This is called just table talk among the bros. Like I said, y'all been hearing all the other stuff with the other podcasts and stuff. This is different. This is the future. These are the young cats who's going to be taking over this bullshit. And I want to tell them, I want them to tell me. We just have a general conversation. The only thing that's missing is brew and
That's
cigars.
Cap.
And
That's Cap. I got the Bud Liskey right here. I got the brews for the fam. All right,
man, you holding it down. You holding it
down
down
for the squad.
I got probably the most vile drink possible. I got a Sprite, but it's 0 sugar. It's like,
oh God, no.
No, why would you do that to yourself? God damn, at least I got some. Well, I do have some. What is this? Fuck is this? This is cranberry.
Oh, cranberry.
Yeah, cranberry.
No, that's not even that. And listen, not just. I mean, literally, when Yo says cranberry, just cranberry. Like just take a cranberry, squeeze that shit out. That's in the cup. There's no sugar. There's no sugar. There's no processing. It's just cranberry. Even the ingredients on the bottle just says cranberry and water. Like this. Like that's probably the most wild thing out here. I'm holding down for the squad. I'm holding down for the squad. That's all that y'all need to know.
I mean, I guess, I suppose, but like, like McDonald's Sprite Tang, it's like you take all the tang and take all the flavor out. It's like, it's like water. It's like you're drinking water and somebody in the other room is like spitting Sprite in your general direction and you smell it. That's the experience that I'm having over here. It's awful.
God damn, bro.
We're just picturing it, man.
Yeah, we got to definitely do better than that. Oh my God. but ladies and gentlemen, all the boys and girls, we're just gonna kick it. Because again, we hear a lot of bullshit out there on the goddamn internet, social media, whatever the fuck you want to call it. These young men, they're the intelligent ones. They're going to ask the good questions. We're going to have that general conversation, and hopefully y'all can learn some shit based on what we're kicking it and what we're talking about.
So I figure we don't really have like a structured gimmick today, do we?
Nope.
Wonderful. So I get to have this conversation for the first time. Ruby Rose just came out the other day, said a banger of a sentence. She said, and I quote, well, I should say quote because I'm paraphrasing. If a man falls in love with her, shows her he's genuinely interested, she'll fall out of love with him. What? She needs a man who, and I quote, doesn't give a fuck about her. Dog, what's wrong with these hoes nowadays, bro? Like, what's good with these hoes nowadays, bro? What's good with these hoes? Because that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
So that reminds me, I don't know if you've seen the list, either of you, of it's a TikTok account, right? And this guy keeps track of girls' icks. Of girls' icks. So some of the things just go blow your damn mind. So you're not allowed to tie your shoes no more. You're not allowed to drink lemonade anymore. You're not allowed to order chicken parmesan.
Yeah. Don't carry an umbrella. Don't carry an umbrella.
Don't carry an umbrella. Don't sneeze into your armpit. You just gotta sneeze.
Let it out in the open. The qualifications, bro, of being a man nowadays is hard, bro. When I tell people that being a man is harder nowadays than ever before, bro, people don't understand what I mean. This is the shit I mean. Is that everybody has a think piece on what men should be, bro. Everybody has a think piece on what men should be. But at the end of the day, like, nobody's ever acknowledging what men actually are, bro. And what most people are like good, wholesome, trying to have a family, trying to do something with their life, trying to strive for something like we're doing right now.
Yes.
But we keep getting compared to the ancient niggas. But we keep getting the fucking ancient nigga qualifications for everything that we do. Like, why can't I have chicken parm, bro? I like chicken parm.
My thing is the main thing, it don't even bother me that much, because for somebody to be observant enough to care about something like that means that they don't have something bigger going on.
Nothing.
They've stooped down low enough to care about that type of shit. And I'm not going to associate myself with that type of person. So it just, it could go right over the head. I can just fly by me and I can laugh about it. I don't think that we're necessarily held to those qualifications, but I'm glad that I've been made aware that them are some that people pay attention to.
The fuck, man? Come on now. We have really the goddamn threshold of manhood is so fucking low. You don't even have to get up out the bed. Based on what these women are saying, you could just be breathing. As long as you have a dick and breathing, you're a good guy.
What? Well, no, that's the thing. But that's what I'm saying. Is that it's not even that. It's literally, unless you are a god, you ain't shit. That's the problem nowadays. It's not necessarily the reverse of like, oh, you gotta, as long as you have a penis. Like, nah, having a penis, that's the bare minimum, right? Being nice, bare minimum. You need to be impeccable. You need to have great dick, fantastic job. You gotta have no problems. You gotta be ready to accept her for who she is. Don't give a fuck she got kids. Don't give a fuck if she got bodies. Like, nah, she's a woman. She's allowed to be whoever she wants. And I'm not knocking that. I need y'all to understand, bro. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying, if women are allowed to just do and live life, then why can't men just do and live life? Why can't we as people just live our lives and not spend hours upon hours saying you are not A unless you do B? Like, niggas out here saying you're not a real woman unless you take care of the household. Like, nah, bro, you can still be a good woman and not take care of the household. You can still take care of your man. You can still take care of your own shit. You can have your own car. You can have your own house. You cannot meet your man for anything, bro. I look at Rihanna. Anybody here sitting there like, oh, Rihanna not a real woman because Travis Scott is at her, or ASAP Rocky rather, is at her hit. No. Nobody's looking at, well, there's dumb niggas, but most people look at ASAP Rocky and thinking, hey, man, he playing his role. He's playing his role. He is not A1 in this relationship. He is very clearly in second place. And so he sits in his role. And it's like, hey, when she was on the Met Gala, clapping up for her, standing beside, letting her get her shine. People want to have those relationships, but don't want to have don't want to do any of the fucking work necessary for that. And the very first thing you can do is to let people be themselves.
And see, and with that, I agree with you. But the thing is, when I always go back to women that want to tell me that I have to be a god and you can accept me for who I am. First of all, you're talking to the wrong level. As we had that discussion about 3 levels of manhood, that works for a level 1 guy. He don't give a shit. He just want to be in there, hang in there, get over how he can get over. But for a level 3 dude, bitch, you better be a god, a goddess, because I'm not gonna lower myself to accept my kids, accept who I am. I ain't. I don't have to. Why? Because as a man, I will always appreciate, because we could be 50, 60 years old, we can still grab that little 20-some, 30-some, 40-some year old woman. You, a woman at 50, 40, 30, you start to diminish. You start to depreciate pretty quickly. And hell, by the time you hit 40, shit, you lucky if you get market price for what you're offering. So you can't be picky. You just need to make sure you're tight enough that a guy can pick you and accept you for who you are, not because I'm only going to accept the guy if this, and this. You don't have that. You don't have it. You just don't.
You know what's funny though? We always talk about like deal breakers and like what bothers us with the deal breaker. And like, I got my mans here, right? Ben, if you had to make your list, bro, since you brought up the TikTok list, bro, what's your TikTok list for ladies, man? What's your TikTok, like, if you had to give just three, I'll make it easy. What's 3 things that if you had to do your TikTok list was like, nah, if y'all doing ABC, I ain't trying to hear it.
I got to be able to talk about my respectful boundaries without it being suddenly I'm a controlling boyfriend.
Hello.
I got to be able to set, like, I'm comfortable with this. This is cool, whatever. You can still do what you're going to do. I got to be able to talk about that. The other one for me, I don't be rocking with this one. Was it septum piercing?
Yeah, septum piercing, yeah. That's not it.
No.
I'm not rocking. That's a deal breaker for me. And then the third one is, if I don't want you asking about my money, my whatever, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't be part of the conversation for me. Fortunately, I've been in a relationship for 4 years. Those three things completely met in the fullest. I'm very happy with it. She's great. But if I were gonna redo it, those would be my main thing. Those would be my main three.
I respect that, man. I respect that, because at the end of the day, what you all just said was like, let me shine. Let me shine.
Yep.
Like, let me do my thing. Don't harass. And to me, like, that's the biggest concern about how we move nowadays. Is something, I think it was number 3 for you. Money. Like, don't ask me about my bank account. Why is that the first conversation we have? How much money you make? What does it matter? If we're on this date, let's say we're on a date, right? If I can pay for the date, does it matter how much is in my pocket? What if I had $1 million and I took you out to Ruby Tuesdays, billed $100, I paid it, we're good, right? But what if I had 150? I still paid it, regardless of what the bill got paid, bro. I feel like that when we have the conversation of how much money you make, it rubs me the wrong way too, because it always feels like you scheming, like you planning shit with my money, like you planning shit with my ends, the shit that I grind to make. You out here scheming and thinking like, oh, he made X amount, that means we can afford. We who, nigga? Who's we? We just dated. We just pulled up. You ain't even pop coochie yet. You're not gonna see the wallet. You ain't even pop coochie yet. You out here scheming, ready to plan a trip to Cabo? Stop, bro. Stop, bro.
Yeah. That's a definite turnoff, because first of all, in this game called dating, you're not, as a guy, I'm not gonna go out there and start taking you to 5-star restaurants. That shit ain't gonna happen, because I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't care how banging you are, how fine you are. All that shit doesn't mean nothing to me, because if I keep spending top dollars on every woman that I see, I'm broke. Because again, I'm spending money, and let's say after I spend $200, $300, $400, and then she's like, you like, for us, if I'm spending $300, $400 on you, I'm getting something that night. And oh, you know what? I had a wonderful time. And I was like, whoa, no, we're not done. I gotta come to your house. I gotta come in. Oh, you can't come in. Oh, bet. Number lost. Ain't calling no more.
No, but
done.
See, what you're saying is that the relationship is contingent upon some pussy, and that's crazy. But when you say like how much money do you make, it's the same thing as saying like, oh, the relationship is based on how much money I make, right? Is that an unfair comparison? Am I wrong? Because that's how it looks like to me. It's like it's the same idea, right? It's the same idea. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm saying that like when ladies say, "Oh, this is like how much money you make," we're saying, at least I'm saying it myself. I'm not gonna speak for them. I'm gonna say it myself. The point still, the idea of, well, how you gonna drop your drawers? Like, do you suck from the back, the front? Like, do you do anal? Like, that's the same mentality that niggas have when they look at you, when they say, hey, man, is she worth going on a date with? If I'm trying to hit and I meet a girl who's like, I'm trying to wait for marriage, she getting left after the first date, right? But if we 3, 4, 5 dates in and you cool with asking about my money and I'm cool with asking you deep throat, and I'm the bad guy for asking that question, you're the bad guy for asking me how much is in my pocket.
Yeah, and you shouldn't really talk about money when you first hooking up together. Because to be honest, you should get to know each other. To be honest, you say, hey, there's a kick in the date. I gotta get to know you. I see the obvious, but what makes you tick? Now, here's the other thing. If she can't fucking tell you what makes her tick, then you probably want to lose her number quick. Because that means she'll let you know what she has to offer. You gotta have something to offer, not just your looks, because that's gonna allow me to say, am I going to invest more money into this shit, or I'm going to cut my losses at the beginning? So for women now, they need to get past that fat ass, big titty, I look good, fake eyelashes, fake titties, all that bullshit, because that's all superficial. And think about this. A lot of women have big asses, big titties, beautiful looks. what separates you from all the other ones that had the same goddamn thing? And if you're just saying, well, my titties are bigger than hers, my ass bigger than her, I gotta lose your shit because that's waste of
Here's the
money.
thing. Here's the thing. Here's my thought, though. We've talked about all this relatively negative light, right? Here's my perspective on it. I'm happy that women are to the point that they're comfortable being very upfront with all those things and demands, and it's, you know, the big ass, big titties phase and whatever, because it makes the dating scene very easy. It makes it very easy for all parties that are involved. I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing that the culture's gone in this way in general, and especially amplified by like the internet, you know, social media and stuff, because it makes it very, it's like a very black and white answer. It's a very, you know, yes or no type of deal, because everything's out there pretty much immediately. Everything that's important is on the table within 30 seconds of a conversation at this point, because everybody's comfortable talking about everything. So in my opinion, it ain't the worst thing in the world. It sucks. It sucks. But it makes picking your circle so much easier, because somebody can impress you in 15 seconds of talking to them just by being half decent.
Yes.
But is that a bad thing? I feel like that's a bad thing, that like in 15 seconds, like, oh, okay, like I have an idea of what type of person you are. I don't know. I feel like part of dating is learning about each other, right? Is about how you interact with each other, how you learn from each other, how you grow, etc. But I feel like when we start conversations with how much money you make, like the very point blank, like bare minimum shits that are quote unquote important, then people start or stop looking at the person in front of them and start looking at life through a checklist. Because that's my biggest issue, is that I feel like people go at life with a checklist. So they go, okay, I meet this chick, I'm gonna talk to her. It's like, she seems cool. I sit down, I'm like, hey, let's say I'm one of those guys that's like, hey, I got these things I want from my woman. First thing I might be asking is like, oh, is she one of those people who wait till marriage? If she's like, nah, or I want to wait till marriage, blah, 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 and that's a problem for me, then like a lot of people just gone out the door. Like, I don't want to talk to her anymore because like I'm not gonna get none. But before, I feel like because people had to kind of angle, there was things that you were able to overlook because you spent the time to learn about people. I feel like our generation is coming at it very like a job interview versus like trying to build a bond. Like, okay, I have a checklist of things that I know are my perceived negatives, right? But I'm not accounting for my perceived positives or unthought of negatives and positives that I couldn't have even thought about. So I might meet a chick who meets a lot of my negative requirements. So I'm like, maybe I don't holler at her. But as I get to talk to her, I'm like, man, she actually might be interesting, where I can kind of forgive the things that are on the checklist that she might not be perfect at or might not be what I deem as best, because I got a chance to know her. And I think the flip side of the fact that we're so upfront is that we choose to then shut down anything that doesn't meet these immediate requirements off rip. And I think that's just as a whole conversation outside of dating, just as in friend groups, when it comes to gaming, movies, music, whatever. Like, oh, if it's so Dave, you're a big music guy, right? I like to admit.
Yeah, if you like Joyner Lucas, you don't like music.
So,
you like shitty ass music, you're awful. And I'll stand behind that. That's my one.
Stand behind that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's what I'm saying. It's like that very immediate thought. If I said to him, like, man, my favorite artist is Joyner Lucas, he immediately has a negative thought about my music taste. Even if after Joyner Lucas we agree on everything else, he would have no clue, because his first thought is, that nigga dumb as shit. He like Joyner Lucas, fuck that. And now look, Joyner, I'm not saying you're bad. You might be a hating ass nigga, but I'm not saying you bad. But the point still stands of like that immediate, because I have this in my head, and we make a decision, I've already made a decision about who you are. And that's obviously what prejudice is. It's just making a decision based on preconceived notions, not necessarily negative or positive. It's just that's what prejudice actually is. But I feel like that ends up being looped into a lot of how we move nowadays, and that's something I feel like we need to work on, because back like that when you was growing up, that wasn't a thing. Like, you wasn't sitting here worried about what the next nigga had in his pocket. You just saw a girl, was like, damn, she got a fat ass, let me holler.
There you go. There you holler.
You said, damn, that nigga cute, let me holler.
There you go. And you had to talk to him, because we didn't have social media. We didn't have, you could pull up on IG and say, damn, she look fine, or damn, she wearing this. You didn't. You had to actually talk to him and get to know him. And then you know, that depends. If you got to know her, you like her, you'll spend a little more time with her. You want to spend time with her, and you want to see where she's at. And that's how you progress. Or sometimes, like, you know what? You went on a good first date. It was okay. Maybe try it again. Go on a second date. Still okay. You may try one more date. If you're still okay, you may say, you know what? She's more of a friend than a girlfriend. So then you got to make sure that she's in the same mindset, because what happens is you may think, she's okay, but she may say, I'm falling deep in love with you. What we would say is like, okay, girl, listen, you may have that feeling. I don't have that feeling. And, you know, you may hurt her, but you got to be honest, because at that point, you're not going to keep investing time and money in her. You break it off and you move on to someone else. But again, everybody's an enigma. Everybody's a mystery, because they're not on social media where you can flip and look at it and they tell you your entire life story before you meet them. So you get to meet the person for who they are, not for what they want you to be. When social media, to me, seems like, here's who I am, so look at me from this point of view. And it may not be her. It may be just an image she's trying to portray in order to catch flies. You know, you're not going to catch flies. You say, you know what, I like Beethoven and something like that. Oh, guys, Beethoven, I don't listen to that shit. But you could be a nice person, but you just listen to Beethoven. Back in my day, no, you had to meet him. You really had to meet him. You had to walk through the process, listen to him, and see if you like him. For you guys, it's fucking different. And to me, it just seems like it's like a catalog. It's like you flip through the catalog. It's like, yeah.
I think that's actually a very good apt comparison as a catalog. Like, you have a sheet of paper full of stats that you find for every person. Like, I can't fathom in 2023 a soul that's around our age who doesn't have social media in some way, shape, and form. Whether it's a Facebook, a Instagram, a Twitter, a TikTok, a Snapchat, something. There's some version of social media that everybody has. How much you focus on it is another conversation. Like, so me, I have everything. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the last 5 years, in terms of physical posts, meaning posts that I wrote by myself, I can count everything on one hand.
See,
I just don't I have them, but I don't use them, because to me, it's not necessary. Like, what do I gain from social media that I can't get from a conversation? Like, I'd rather just talk to people. I'd rather be able to sit down and have a conversation. But when you post like, oh, you think BLM is cool? Great. You put up a post for BLM, whatever. But like, what are you doing in your free time? Like, did the black woman cut you off and you scream nigga out the front of the car? Like, what did you do in real life? Because that's what really matters. Like, your social media is just a scrapbook of whatever the fuck you felt like putting up that day. Whatever piece of bullshit came across your brain, let me post it. But that's never who people actually are. But I feel like our generations are caught in that. For some reason, we believe that social media is real life. And I don't know why, because it's truly not. Like we said, we joked about the TikTok list to start intentionally, because it's stupid. It's stupid. Like, who's sitting there looking at somebody like, oh, he has an umbrella, less than a man.
Yes, that's crazy to me.
I look at you with an umbrella thinking that nigga want to be dry. Like, bro, I'm jealous, bro. Where'd you get that umbrella? That's what I'm asking. And most men are going to ask that question too.
And here's the crazy thing. For me, Our generation is like, if I have an umbrella, I have to, because if we're going out and I heard it's gonna be a chance of rain, I gotta have that umbrella. So, we got the car, your shoes get wet. So I'll make sure that it's popped up and it's big enough umbrella so we can walk into the theater, wherever we're going to. So to me, it's a given. It's like opening the doors. It's like little things that I take for granted that it just seems not to happen anymore. Like opening the doors for your woman, just making sure that you kind of
I
make sure
even
she's
double
good.
that and say opening doors for people. I
Yes.
can't tell you how many times people just walk past you when you open the door and hold it for them. To the point where in college, I used to make it like known that you pissed me off because how hard is it to say thank you? How hard is it to say appreciate it? Thanks.
Yes.
Or like good looks. Good looks, I'm cool with that. People with
Yes.
good looks, bro. Because at the end of the day, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to stop my momentum to hold this door, but I did it because I thought that was the right thing to do. I would love to have somebody hold the door open for me. If I'm walking by, hey man, appreciate you.
Yes.
You're right behind me. Thank you, man. Good looks. But everybody's like, oh, that's an inconvenience because I gotta stop what I'm doing and I gotta stop my progression to what? Be a human being?
See, again, it's that fake impression that they're so fucking busy. I'm so busy. I don't have time to say hello, goodbye, nothing. Motherfuckers ain't that busy. That's the impression that with social media. I'm just so busy. But if you really think about it, people who are really not on social media, they're the ones that's busy. Unless you're making money off of it. Because most people are so busy living their fucking real lives that they don't have this illusion. And as we all know, there's a whole lot of people on social media who just want to be who want to be IG rich, but as you know them in real life, poor.
Ja Morant, dumbass, doing his dumbass shit on dumbass Instagram. Stop flashing a gun. You're from the suburbs, bro. Play basketball. Be a basketball star. Be a good influence. Stop trying to be something you're not. He's just goofy for no reason. But
because that's a bag that you're ruining for literally no. Like, what do you gain? We have story after story after story about how guns and sports athletes don't work well together. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll give you two of them. Look up Plexico Burris. Look up Gilbert Arenas.
Yes.
Two extremely talented black men. Guns fuck their careers up.
Yes.
And I gain from that.
It makes no sense to me. When you have an opportunity to make $500 million, $500 million, do you think I'm going to be one caught with any motherfucker from the hood? Fuck no. Am I going to be caught with a gun? Hell no. Am I going to be driving drunk? Fuck no. Why? Because I have built an infrastructure so tight that if I do get drunk, somebody's going to drive me home. I'm not going to have a gun because why? I'm going to hire the security guys who are licensed to have a gun just around me. I will always be in a situation that no matter where I go, the organizations that back me and pay me very well will say, well worth it. And I'll constantly make my money. There's no need for me for the hood. What the fuck is the hood value of that? I'm popping the hood. Who gives a fuck?
Where do you think the influence comes from for these people, like especially celebrities that make the dumbass decisions? For myself, I know that if I ever am in a position to get, honestly, even $1 million,
even honestly, $1 million,
any amount of money, it could be any fucking amount of money, I'm just not going to do dumb shit to take it away, because my influences throughout my life have put me in a place where that's the decision I'm gonna make. So is it a lack of influence? Are they surrounding themselves with dumbass friends? Is it on the parents? Is it on the friends? Or is it on the social media ends of things? Again, like we were talking about, is the fact that an influencer can even exist blows my damn mind. What the fuck are you influencing? What are you
exactly? Think about this.
What?
A 23-year-old can influence your fucking life. You're 40 and 50 years old. She really influenced my life. That means you've been living a fucked up existence. You've been just
even
drifting.
Still, like fucking 10, 15-year-olds, you quote unquote influence it. I think the biggest issue with that word is the word influence, because what that means is that you are guiding somebody or you're causing them to make a decision based on your actions.
Where's the influencer plus certification to make you qualified to influence people?
If I gotta get a CompTIA certification
exactly
to say that I can do networking when I can read networking very easily and do it, but I need a certification to say I can do it, then you need to have a certification to say you can be an influencer.
to possibly,
especially for a particular product.
Bro, think about the amount of people that they're reaching too. I feel like it would be way more important for them to be certified in fucking something than my however many person company you working for to get that certification. Yeah. People got to get certified to operate a forklift. That might hurt one or two people. What about the brains of your 500,000 followers that you're telling them, like, what was that group? All they did was drink. Nelk. That group, those fucking idiots, right? It was like, go out and party. That was their whole message for a long period of time. And that they had millions of followers. And there's no accountability on their ends whatsoever. They can just do whatever they want because they have the power to do it. That's stupid.
It's stupid shit. But that also goes back to how parents aren't really parenting anymore. Because here's the thing: when I was growing up, for me personally, I never had a basketball player, football player, baseball player as a influence, as somebody I wanted to look as a role model. If I was interested in football, he's a great football player. If I was interested in basketball, he's a great basketball player. A baseball player. I never looked at him and said, I want to be that person. Why? I never knew the fuck he was outside of playing basketball, football, and baseball. So how could I look at him and all of a sudden build my entire life, my entire existence by a guy that either shoots a ball, hits a ball, or do anything like a run with a ball? So that tells you your parents aren't doing what the fuck they're supposed to be doing, because they should be your role models. They should be the one. You should be in their lives and so interactive with your kids that they look at you and say, I see how mom and dad's struggling. But they're making shit happen. Somebody.
If it's not mom and dad, it's a teacher, a professor. Like, no human being that you have no clue what they do when they lay their head at night should be your fucking influence.
Nope.
No human being who you don't see. If I ain't never seen that nigga angry, sad, miserable, happy, after a death in the family, if I ain't seen you do this shit like that, I can't even look at you as somebody I want to emulate, because I can't emulate you. I know nothing of you.
Exactly.
I can sit here and say, well, look, growing up, I watched TV. I had those guys where you're like, oh man, I really like such who does this. I really like such who does that. And I liked you for what you did in the arena that I saw you in. I enjoyed this guy because he's really good at gaming. So I'm going to watch that guy when he does gaming. But I refuse to listen to that guy if he talks about health, if he talks about music, if he talks about TV, if he talks about movies. I don't care what you think. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, we're two different people.
Exactly.
I enjoy your gaming, but I don't know who you are as a person. The fact that kids, especially now, are looking at entertainers as a source of how to become an adult or how to become something is a huge problem. I blame not your generation, but the generation below you. Them niggas was ass. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. Them niggas is ass. Because a lot of y'all fucking kids, I realize I gotta look at the camera. A lot of y'all fucking kids are the reason why we deal with this shit now. Because y'all niggas was ass. Because y'all didn't raise your kids. Y'all might have gotten raised or not raised. I don't know. But y'all ain't learned shit from it. Y'all pushed your kids out the fucking door and said, best of luck. And then we have to deal with them. We got to raise your kids. And then you blame, I look, Ja Morant, he dumb. He doing dumb shit. But the fact that we're even having a conversation of, you have so many people who follow you and you're Last Dance came out during the pandemic. Jordan in Last Dance made a very good point. He said, I never got into basketball to be a role model. I got into basketball to be a good fucking basketball player.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A lot of these guys came into the league because they're good fucking basketball players. I ain't said shit about intelligence, just good basketball players. Bron. man's, regardless of how y'all feel about his personal standings, is a great basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best of our generation.
Yep.
Might be, we can argue GOATs left, right, and center, but at least of our generation, best. Right? We can agree on that. I'm not looking at LeBron and saying I want to be LeBron. But what I am looking at LeBron and saying, I like how he took his wealth and found a way to create something that will perpetually give back to Black people for as long as that school survives. I'm looking at decisions like that when I look at a person like Oprah who takes her money and goes to Africa, but is from Chicago, but you ain't done shit in Chicago. I look at a guy like LeBron who's doing that actively in the very fucking city he was raised. It was like, nah, we're gonna try to take our wealth and our clout and improve other people's lives. To me, if you are an influencer, your goal should be not to make people better, worse, whatever. It's to take what you have and make the world better in some way, shape, and form. Whether it's being a good role model because you're like, hey, let me show kids what they should do, or even just being smart with your money. Just doing smart shit with your money. Setting up foundations, setting up scholarships, taking that wealth and help set up the next generation. If you know when you were growing up, man, I really wish the school I went to had an arts program because I ended up becoming a fantastic artist and I would love to give back to that. Bro, you don't have to be LeBron to do that.
Nope.
You don't have to have millions of dollars to do that. Go back to your old school. Sit down with somebody who has a damn name. Sit down and say, hey, I think we should do it our program. Have a plan. What's the worst that happens? They say no. Okay. But you know what you did do? You put that bug in their ear. If you're really pressed about it, be persistent with it. Constantly show up to those meetings. Have a game plan. Say, look, I thought this through. I get that y'all got a budget. We can figure this shit out. I've looked at it because budgets for a lot of places, a lot of schools are public knowledge because they're public schools. So you can do research and find this information out if you want to give back. If you don't have that grand of a aspiration, do little shit. Go on Thanksgiving when you ain't got shit to do. You sit at home like, hey man, I ate early. I ain't got shit else to do. Go volunteer.
Yep.
It's Christmas. Do a Christmas drive. Y'all go to work all the time. Y'all got co-workers. Say, you know what? It's Christmas time. Let's do a drive for the kids. Help set it up. Everybody can be a positive influence on this world without ever becoming an influencer. To me, becoming an influencer is just, hey, I'm important because I like things. Like, what does that mean? What did you really do? You ain't create nothing. You ain't design shit. You just showed up and was like Bud Light, the proud sponsor of this pod. That's akin to what you're doing. That's akin to what you're doing. Hey, Bud Light, dead ass though, please. This whole podcast has been powered by you. A couple dollars, bro. A couple dollars. I ain't greedy. Like $5, bro. $5 a month, nigga. You can slide it through, bro. You can keep the lights on, Bud Light. I'm just saying, bro. You know, I mean, that's how they go up. The Popeyes kid blew because he ate Popeyes and was standing there with a drink and a meme. Yo signed an NIL contract when he was in college.
Yeah.
But he's known for a meme where he holds a Popeyes cup and looks.
Yeah, that's
all
true.
He's known for. That's all he's known for. Making big bucks now. So that's what I'm saying, bro. But like, please. All right.
Yes.
Complete sidebar. But I had to get our shit in. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep the lights on somehow.
Hey, I feel you. So what do you think about this, Ben? What do you think about this influence that they have over these kids now?
My main problem is anybody that has a lot of money, anybody that has a lot of quote unquote influence, right? I don't I personally don't hold them to any different standards than I do any other person. I don't feel like they're obligated to do this, that, whatever. Let them do whatever the hell they want. My problem is I don't think people are smart enough to just let them be. I think that the people they influence have expectations of them that make them act a certain way, push certain narratives, push certain things, products, whatever. It's like it's a two-way street. It's not just influencer to the people they're influencing. The person that has all the eyes on them feels like they are supposed to act a certain way, put on a certain show, whatever. That's why I don't hold them to any standards. Honestly, I feel like if influencers or quote unquote influencers are people who make content, well, I'll start calling them people who make content because that's really what they are.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right? Let them do whatever the hell they want. If you like it, consume the content, but you don't got to then push what you want to see. Go find what you want to see because it's probably out there. There's enough people putting that stuff out there where you can find it. But again, since influencer is a title that makes money, it's people's livelihoods now. Y'all have seen time and time again how money changes people.
Absolutely.
So you watch it happen firsthand to these quote unquote influences. They have too much power and their intentions change as they grow. And because of those two things, it's not good. I don't see a situation where it can be good. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's my place to expect them to do what I believe is good or, start volunteering, give back to anybody, whatever. I'm going to let them do their thing with their bread, whatever. That's not me. If I started following you because you're making videos, because you're, I don't know, you're helping people get into affordable housing, right? Then if my expectation is that you're going to continue to help people get into affordable housing, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, because that's what you put your name on.
Yeah, if I'm watching, I don't know, some pro gamer, I'm not then going to expect them to start, blessing up homeless people out of nowhere or hold them to that standard just because I think it's the right thing to do. You feel me?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's a problem people keep. Let me just step back and say this. We have changed from a nation of leaders to a nation of followers. I see more sheep than I see sheep herders. Because if you think about it, if you're the sheep, all you gotta do is follow. You have to think. You don't have to react to it. Just the goofy motherfuckers lead you. Just follow him because you ain't gotta shake up anything because you just following. The hardest person is the leader because the leader understands that this road can be lonely, and you have to be. And I always say it on all the podcasts. In order to grow, you have to become uncomfortable. And by becoming uncomfortable, down the road, you become comfortable because you're now doing things to make you the leader. You got to answer this shit. You walk with your own path. People are scared of that. It's easier just to follow someone than to buck the system. I mean, we've seen it with Kaepernick. Kaepernick said, "Fuck this. This ain't right. I don't like the unjust shit." They told him, "Shut the fuck up. Play football, and shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear all that bullshit about those social justice and shit. We don't give a fuck about that. Just throw the ball." But he said, "You know what? I'm willing to sacrifice my career." And many have. He did. Muhammad Ali did in the 60s. The kid from the Nuggets back in the 90s. I forgot his name. They all sacrificed. They stood for something. But they also
Muhammad
realized.
Abdul Rauf, I think is his name.
Yes, because it was Chris Jackson was his given name.
Right.
And he converted it to Islam.
Right.
So these guys stood up for something. They knew in the end it's going to cost them because society wants you to follow. They don't want you to buck the system. You buck the system, then that means you want people to think. We can't have you thinking. That's why you go to school. If you think about school is to teach you how to work. And I think it was Rockefeller. Rockefeller, someone I got to find out for sure, says, "I don't want to raise a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers." And he's the guy that set up the public school systems that we now follow since the 1900s. He's the one that set it up. So the school system is not meant to have, visionaries. They want you to pass and be able to do manual work for the rest of your life. And then we'll pay you a reasonable salary so that way you continue to be the worker bee you're going to be. So once you start thinking differently, you start saying, whoa, I want more out of life. And they're looking at you like, you want more? You should be happy with your 9 to 5, making, the minimum wage, and we give you a 3% increase every now and then, but me as the owner, I'm gonna give myself a 20% increase and make sure I pay myself a couple $1,000,000. But you should be happy that you're stable, you better take care of your family as much as you can.
But you can't even do shit like that nowadays.
No,
that's the issue.
The difference. The thing that people fail to realize is when I was your guys' age, that was an opportunity. I could move up. They're going to train me. They're going to do all this stuff. And I could see the progression. For you guys, they fucked it up. And in 30 plus years, they fucked it up because the people up top want to make more money. If you go back and look now, there's 2 men that own as much wealth as the bottom 50% of the people in the world. 2. That tells you that there's something really fucked up when that happens. And people, and they got everybody arguing about, oh, that person stopped me, or that person stopped me. You look at the people on the same level. It's not those people. It's the people above that keep pointing at those people. Say they're the reason why you can't make it. Or that's the reason you can't make it. And you got to get another degree in order to make it. Or you got to get that degree. Anything to keep you spinning the table, to get yourself deeper and deeper in debt, to hopefully get that little increase is going to make you a little better than someone else. But on the top, they're still making money. They're still going to make more money than anybody. So for people nowadays to look at these influences, it's about the money. Everything in this world is about the money. China is a communist state. It is, but they got billionaires. So how are they a billionaire if there's a communist state where the communism is about everybody making the same amount of money and nobody can be rich? But we know they got billionaires. So this whole shit of capitalism and socialism is all bullshit. Everything is driven by money. Anytime you see something that takes off, it's always about money. Money's always driving force. Why you can't solve certain problems? Because there's money involved. Drugs. If you want to stop drugs, you could, but there's too much money being made across the board for a lot of people. So some people have to die, so be it. Let's not kill all of them because you can't kill out the people who's buying the supply, but let's wean out enough of them so we can still keep it going. So people have to understand that money will force you, if you don't have any integrity, to do a lot of shit. Women on OnlyFans. Women, which is the thing women can do. Women can get on OnlyFans and make $100,000. Men can't get on OnlyFans and make $100,000 unless you have a particular skill set that people are looking for, and they say, "Oh, he can cook."
Or you're gay for pay.
Exactly. So a lot of women, you see it all the time. I was a teacher. I'm not making enough money as a teacher, so I went to OnlyFans and I'm making $100,000 a year. Are you fucking shame that a teacher is not making enough money who's teaching the next generation of kids? She has to go out here and do OnlyFans or anything else to supplement her income because they don't pay her enough to teach the kids. But she'll pay a basketball star millions of dollars a year to run up and down the court, throw a ball through a hoop. But the kids suffer.
To me, at the end of the day, it's about. So we always have that comparison that like entertainers get paid more than teachers and shit like that. I'm a proponent of, yes, teachers should get paid more, but entertainers, athletes, etc., bring in more money. Mm-hmm. So therefore they get paid more. It's kind of a hand-in-hand thing. With WNBA, always here, like I'm not knocking WNBA. WNBA players don't get paid enough. However, the league is a loss leader. Everything that the NBA does compensates for how much the WNBA loses on just operations. So, yeah, these guys make way more money, but that's because they make way more money. Like teachers in schooling, like that's like we always say, like that's always a scuffed thing to me. Because why do teachers struggle to make ends meet when without teachers we don't have schools? If teachers go on strike tomorrow, niggas not going to school. Who's teaching?
Nope.
Who's teaching? If teachers decide to strike tomorrow, nobody's going to school. If teachers stay strike, let's say they strike for a year, one school year, no teacher in the United States teaches. Did nobody, no kids getting taught? And all these kids are dumb as shit already.
Yep.
So you think like they're not going to benefit? So like to me, teachers, if there ever comes a day where teachers move like they have power, they'll get paid more. But that requires them to move as a collective, which is an issue that we have. in society nowadays, everybody moves as an individual. I don't care what such and such does. I do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what they do. I'm gonna do my thing. I don't care what that is. I'm okay with however that works out. But the problem is, in a lot of scenarios, the reason why your thing doesn't improve is because the collective thing didn't improve.
Mm-hmm.
But if you fix the collective thing, then your individual thing grows as well. If we fix how teachers, or if we fix how much teachers get paid, guess what? All the teachers get paid more. You all say we go strike, we all get paid. There's no such thing as a scrub teacher. You can get scrub refs. You can get scrub refs all day. You're not gonna get a scrub teacher and it work. They're gonna pull in all the teachers' aides. Stop.
That's true.
Even if they put a teachers' aides in, like, that's not gonna do shit.
And that goes back to what we're dealing with now, college. There's no fucking way college should be as expensive as it is. I mean, nothing has changed in the past 40 years when it comes to accounting and English and all that shit. IT is the only thing that has changed in the past 40 years. So understand that has to be upgraded on a lot of things. Okay, got that. But why the fuck is just operating the school gone so much that people have to be in fucking debt to go to college? Only for them to sell you you'll be above someone else. And when you get out here, you know what? You need experience. Nope, you need experience. If you don't have experience, then you can't be hired. So you said, no, wait a minute, I'm over $100,000 in debt for something you told me that they're looking for, but now you put, prereqs on me. You don't have but 4 years. You only got 2 years experience. You gotta have at least 3. So now you're like, well, how the fuck do I get it? It is crazy because it's like, well, how the fuck do I get it unless somebody hires me, but then they don't want to pay you what you want to get paid or need to get paid. You got student debt. That shit ain't gonna go away. They're not gonna say, well, you know what? We wait till you make $100,000 and then you can start paying it. Fuck no. 6 months after you graduate, you better start paying on the damn student loans. And some people's student loans is as high as fucking mortgages. But yet they're only making $15, $16, maybe $20 an hour, maybe. But then you expect, come on to school. The next round of people come on to school. They're like, why should I? Because I see my cousin, my brother, the people before me who's still paying student debt. I know people who graduated with me who just finished student debt, and I didn't get out of school last week. I've been out of school for a few decades, and they just finished paying their student loans. And how fucking sad is that? But you keep telling people, go to school. So now you got kids who are like, what else should I do? So you have people doing influencing. You have people doing other shit outside of going to school because they realize it's not a guaranteed ticket to make it 6 figures. It's not.
I think it's a guaranteed ticket to being in debt. So I'm going to say something controversial to a lot of people. It might not be controversial to you guys. I might be just saying shit. But I'm the proponent of people should never, or not people. I think we should have people not apply for college until they're at least 20. I think 18 is too soon to tell people to go to college. The reason why a lot of people end up in debt is because nobody at fucking 17, 18 years old has any goddamn clue what the hell they want to do with their life. I don't care what anybody in this world got to say. They don't have a fucking clue. They don't have a clue. So you tell them the next step is college. They go to college with no clue what the hell they want to do. And then they sit there. And the first year and a half, you can go through college and never pick a major.
Yep.
Just take classes. So you can figure it out. While you're figuring out how the fuck you're gonna pay for the rest of that debt. You go there go to a 4-year college year and a half, you still don't know what the hell you want to do. You drop out. Now you got student loans.
And you're paying for it.
And you got shit to show for it.
Nope, you still paying student loans.
Or you go to school for something that you're passionate about at 17 years old, and then you go to be 25, 26, 27, and realize that was a really fucking dumb degree. I had a girl in my college who, for the first year I knew her, went to school to be a history major. But refused to be a teacher.
How the hell do I make money?
What are you going to do?
Working at the Smithsonian?
What are you going to do? What job could you possibly be getting if not a teacher? Yo was like, well, I couldn't work at a museum. You don't need a degree to be stop. You don't need a degree for that.
No.
You don't need a degree for that. To work at a museum, So she went for the first year of her schooling, getting this history degree. And I had to have a conversation like this 3 separate times to be like, yo, you need to find a different major. There's no reason you should be going to school for. Like, if you want to do history, do it as a minor. Do it as a minor. But don't go to school as your primary degree being history and you refuse to be a teacher. Like, so she went into business. Great. Good shit. She got her minor in history. Fantastic. But it goes to like the point of people don't know what the hell they want at 17 years old, and to tell them to make a big financial commitment, because that's what going to college is. Bump a piece of paper. It's a gigantic financial commitment between you and whoever the fuck you go to school with, whether it's a public school, private school, if it's a trade school. It's a financial commitment between you and that entity that your ass is not ready for. I went to school 17 years old. I want to do computers. Am I doing computers right now? Fuck no. I'm doing something completely different. I'm sitting here talking to y'all because I found passions that were vastly different than what I went to school for. But I knew when I went to school that I should probably go to school for something that makes some fucking money, just in case this shit doesn't work. I got something to fall back on. People go to school for things they're passionate. I had a girl who I went to high school with. She graduated with a marine biology degree. Never once touched foot in the fucking water. She works at the aquarium. Like, you're telling people who have never made a decision in their life legally that the first legal decision you get to make is how you're going to set yourself up for debt for the rest of your life. How are you going to be able to cover your debt? Because most people aren't going to be able to afford school. Most people are not going to be able to afford, going to have parents who can afford school. So most people are going to have to take out loans, which means if you're taking out loans, imagine at 17, imagine, because you're about to be finished school now too, right?
Yeah.
So imagine 17 years old, somebody told you how much your schooling is right now. Like over the course of these last 4 years, 17 years old telling you had to pay it all back. You might have changed the school you went to.
I exist. I'm not a good example for this. I am a horrible example for the
I am as well. I am as well. I gotta get that flowers. I am as well.
I'm the shittiest example.
But yeah, it's like it's in general. Most people at 17 years old, if you were told, hey, by the way, when you finish school, you're gonna owe somebody $60,000, $70,000, $80,000.
That's a lot.
Imagine at 17 years old, somebody tell you owe an entity $80,000.
It wouldn't mean anything. A 17-year-old can't quantify $80,000.
Because a 17-year-old can't quantify $80,000.
It means absolutely nothing to him. It means
nothing. But at 21, somebody tells you $80,000, you know what the fuck $80,000 looks like.
Yeah.
You know what it looks like. You've either tasted it or you've seen it. Whether it's your boss's check, your cousin's check, your mama's check, somebody's check you've seen. You've seen enough money to say, you know what? That's a lot of fucking money. And you make a different decision. We look down for some god unknown reason in this country at taking 2 years to go to a public school or go to a public college. Go get the fucking associates if you're not sure what you want. If you want to get schooling and you don't know what you really want to get as a degree, take the time to go to somewhere cheap like a community college and figure it out. There is nothing wrong with getting a 2-year degree there and then going to a 4-year and finishing your last 2. I swear to God, there's nothing wrong with it.
Saves you fucking money.
It'll save you so much money, especially if you're unsure. A lot of people go to college because it's the next step, but have never thought of what that next step actually looks like.
Yeah.
You graduate from college. Woo, I graduated. I got a degree in something I was interested in, and nobody gives a fuck. They're not going to pay me shit.
And Ben, how many people you know have gone after degrees, and you realize right now there's going to be a long drive to get to that job?
So, my neighbors, the first year that I was physically at school, because my freshman year of college was COVID year, so I didn't have that. We had neighbors, and they spent a majority of their time smoking all the time, and they just became known as porch neighbors because it smelled like boof all the time. There were 6 of them. It was a 4-person apartment. There were 6 of them that were there all the time. They were all theater majors.
Oh God, no.
Oh. You just gave them money. That's just free money.
You just gave them money.
Oh.
You gave the school money. But that's how a lot of these schools be making money. Like, if niggas were actually successful, like, some of these schools probably wouldn't even be around still. They just got free money. Like, I ain't had to give y'all niggas shit. Y'all just showed up and gave me $10K.
I mean, it's no hate to the theater majors. They was cool people, but like if the goal is money, if you really love learning, is it worth $80,000 to really love learning? It might be to some people. I'm not gonna judge them for it, but like, damn. $80,000?
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of goddamn money.
That's a lot of simoleons to be out here bullshitting.
Especially nowadays, because now you can take an iPhone and make a fucking major movie. You don't have to go order. Back in the day, you had to order all the equipment and shit, walk around with it. You ain't got to do that. Get your iPhone and you can do a goddamn motion picture that you can put out there at any goddamn theater, because that's
right. But they wanted to hold the skull. They want to hold the skull and speak to it. You know what I mean? They want to just have that bitch up here like this and just read soliloquies to it. That's what they paid for.
It's just crazy, because now you come out of school with debt. So that goes back to relationships. If you go to college, you come out with a lot of student debt, you don't have no money. Because already, like I said, 6 months down the road, you got to start paying on it. But now you want to start dating. And now your money's looking a little funny, because you ain't got that type of job. But you got this young lady you're trying to take out, but you know your financial situation, but you're trying to impress her. But you can't impress her so much, but then she's probably looking based on what she's seeing on IG. He's supposed to do this, he's supposed to do that, but you can't afford that. And a lot of guys are dumb enough to go into debt. Oh, let me use a credit card. Let me use this credit card. I use this credit card. I pay this, and next year your credit's fucked up. And you still ain't get no booty. Because again, depending on how it goes, you may still ain't get no ass. And you're like, God damn, I'm gonna spend $1,500 on this hoe, and I still get nothing. And now you're like, I gotta watch the next one. So now you're on a financial constraint, because you already put money out there. So now you look at the next one like, I ain't gonna pick up too much money, because I'll learn from the last one. I'm not gonna do that this time. But now she still wants you to kick out money. So now it has to be, what's the reason? Because a lot of these women are looking to get married. It's so funny though. It's like men ain't really looking to get married in their 20s. Men are like, I just want to go and kick it a little bit, but they're in their head like, I want to play around a little bit, but I can't play around but so much, because I do want to get that good guy to have this baby.
Logistically speaking, if you want to have kids, as a woman, you are also on a clock, like theoretically speaking. On a different clock than men, but you're still on the clock.
Yeah,
so I get why.
Hey, but then again, you look at the poor guy who's struggling. He don't want no motherfucking kid. He know he got debt.
But then don't be pursuing pussy.
But see, you got to, because you're a man. You got to pursue. You can't sit around and say, I want to get that pussy, but I can't. My money funny. You're going to work that shit out somehow. But she's going to be looking at, is he a good one to have a baby by? And, they fuck around and have a baby by you, then your money is really gone. Then you got all kinds of debt. You got the school debt, and then you got 18 years of debt. Whether y'all are together or not, there's 18 years you got to spend on this baby. So now you're pissed off, because now you're like, God damn it, I ain't really like it like that. I just want to get the pussy. Now I gotta spend money on this. I got my other shit. So now you strapped. And now you're in a different situation. You're not looking at women now like you were looking for before, because right there you already got a kid. You got to deal with that. And no matter what, that kid has to always be taken care of. That's why my guys got to stay strapped. You got to stay strapped. I know a lot of guys who had kids because their girl said, I'm protected. Oh, okay. And that really wasn't the case. Then, oh man, I can't believe she got pregnant. No shit. Why the hell would you even do it without protection? Because she told you that? You know how many kids walk around this face of this fucking earth because she was protected, but you weren't? So now you got to look at the games being played, because women do play games. They could feed you or lead you down that road. Next, you're like, oh man, I think we got something going on. She probably just want the seed. You never know where her head is, because you never know where her upbringing. So That's why the communication has got to be key. You got to communicate. You got to have that conversation. But I feel like everybody plays that game. They play a game and they don't really want to speak the truth. And you gotta say, hey, is it worth playing this game? Is it worth put myself out there or not having that conversation, keep everything close to the vest? Or do I want to go out there and say, hey, this let me see somebody I can work out with or deal with and we can kind of go together. I mean, like I said, me and my
I'm
wife's
sorry
situation is different.
to interrupt, but
Uh-huh.
you said something I wanted to I didn't want it to go over it without coming back to it or leave it too long.
Okay.
You said in that sense, y'all should want to grow together. You should want to grow together, grow with your partner. Ben, forgive me for speaking on your relationship, but just as kind of a rough outline for everyone else. Like he said, he's been with his girl for 4 years. And yo is 21.
Mm-hmm.
He's building a relationship and building a foundation with his girl from the ground up. He's not sitting there like she's not sitting there scheming, waiting for the man to make 6 figures and then hitting up in his DMs. He's not waiting for her to, okay, yeah, she had the perfect, perfect timing, like, yeah, like right before I'm like money's right, like let me go ahead. Like, no, they ain't got their shit together, but they're putting it together as a collective. And that is like a beautiful thing that a lot of us refuse to want to even think of as a reality. Like, It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have money and struggle and have to figure it out. It's okay to be a guy and try to get your ends to meet and find a lady who's also willing to wait for you to get your ends to meet. Because guess what? That's when it's gonna taste the sweetest.
Absolutely.
When you both are building that foundation, you both are ass out, you both are you struggling paycheck to paycheck, one paycheck, like your shit's covering everything. Next paycheck, her shit's got to cover stuff. And y'all working as a collective, guess what? That's what builds these 20, 30-year relationships that we as our generation swear up and down that we wish we had, but never want to actually put in the work to build the foundation to have that. So I just wanted to take a second to address that before you move forward, because I was like, people never have this conversation. They always say like, oh, you got to find a girl who, nah, find somebody who fucks with you for who you, find somebody, I cannot stress this enough, who fucks with you for who you are at that moment. When they met you, how you are, they should be okay with. If you have the potential to do more, great. You have the potential to fail, great. But if she's cool with you for who you are in that moment, guess what? You probably found somebody who's going to be with you if shit falls apart and who's going to be standing beside you when everything's on top.
That's perfect. I'm gonna leave it to you, man. That's perfect. Because you're what they want. You're what they want. But again, a lot of people aren't mature enough for what you're looking at and how you're living, because they think it's easy. They think it's as easy as swipe left. It's not that easy. It takes work. And it takes two people learning about themselves simultaneously to see how we getting there. You're not perfect. There's nobody walking the face of the earth, I've said many times, that's perfect. You're never gonna be perfect. All you want to do is be the best person, the best version of yourself you can be, and hopefully someone will see you as that who you are now, love you for who you are. Not saying, oh well, he could be
I love
making
you
millions
what
of
you
dollars.
could be in the future, or what I believe you have the potential to be.
Exactly. And that's important. And people don't want to do that. Again, I haven't been married for 27, going on 27 years just for a wing and a prayer. It took good times, bad times, late nights, all kinds of other shit, crying, tears, pain, suffering, all that shit. But we started when we was young, and we can now continue still having fun 20, 30 some years after I met her, and we still had that fun. And people say, how do you do it? Well, the thing is, I loved her for her. She loved me for me. I was not a complete project. She was a complete project. And along the way, we helped each other. It wasn't about, it's all on me and this is on you. We helped each other. We're a team. You're a unit. So again, there's days you're going to give 100%. Some days you got nothing to give. you're going to have to carry that because you know she got you. She has you. You have her. That is more important than anything in the world. It's the worst thing is for a man to know if something happens to him, his girl, his significant other ain't got his back at all. Because she knows, like, oh, you're the man. You should be able to handle that shit. But she don't want to share or help you out of any situation. Don't want to be that peace of mind. This day you're gonna come home fucked up and mad. You want somebody to be like that, to be that sounding board, to be that peace person that's gonna make you feel good. Understand you can come and be you, be the open you, be that vulnerable you. Because again, men do cry. So that whole bullshit, men don't cry. No, no. Dead men don't cry. Dead boys don't cry because they keep all that shit in. They end up on drugs, alcohol, suffer heart attacks, suffer ailments, and they just die because they couldn't release it and they never were around somebody that they felt comfortable enough above releasing who they are too, which is pretty fucked up. If you have kids and all that shit and you still can't come home and say, damn, I had a bad day, without her saying, shut the fuck up and go eat that dinner, I'll fix you. And you guys suck it up and just eat the dinner. So for you to be at this point at 20, 21 years of age, my friend, you're ahead of the game. There's people in their 50s, 60s that wish they had what you had at this stage of life based on all the shit they went through. So I commend you.
Thank you. I got lucky, man. If we're gonna be honest here, like the course of my life in general, a lot of people, if they looked at it on a piece of paper, would assume that everything was handed to me, right? But instead, it was more so I got the best toolbox possible to build out where I'm currently at. At the time that I met, and now we've been dating for 4 years, I was bullshitting. I was in high school and I was bullshitting. And it just so happened that she was interested at that time that we met. She just gotten out of a relationship or something. It just fell into my lap. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't like actively seeking out no relationship or whatever. We just kept hanging out with each other. I'm like, oh, I'll fuck with you. You fuck with me. I think the ability for growth, especially for us, is part because we are so young. We grew up together. For her, she's younger than I am. So we've been dating for a fifth of her life.
Wow. Wow.
A fifth of her entire life we've been together. And for me, it's almost that same number. It's about a fifth of my life that we've been together. So we've literally grown up, like end stages of puberty type shit. Like in the most literal sense possible, grown up. And there's challenges that come with that, of course, because I'm going to be graduating and exploring options to move and do that type of stuff. She's at the phase where she went to she's looking at if she's going to do a 4-year to finish up. Is she going to do like an online school? She's still figuring stuff out. I got my plan. I know what I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do. Right. And that's another barrier you come to. But when you've grown up with someone through that period of time, I'm not worried about it. There's never a point where I'm concerned about what that transition is going to look like for the both of us. We're still fucking with each other. We're going to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And ideally, like you said, the key part of it being, I have a plan. She's trying to figure it out, but we're going to figure it out together at the end of the day. Like, y'all going to find the thing that works out for both of y'all, even if it means you two have to do vastly different things to make the collective thing work. It might mean that you move, but you move to set up an infrastructure so that when she's ready, she comes in, slots herself in. Yep. It could mean you say, you know what, I might not move. I might stay and just sit here and just stack up a little nest egg and just make a couple of dollars here and there and save up. So when she's ready to go, we move someplace where we both can agree on it, whatever. I don't know what that looks like for you. But the point is that you're going to spend the effort to communicate and put the time in as a collective to find something that works. And a lot of us, as I'm speaking for as somebody older than you, who sees it all the time, have not gotten to that stage. 28 years old, I know too many 28-year-old women who will swear up and down men are supposed to read their fucking mind. I got an idea of what I want to do, and I see a guy who supports it. I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And you can't even articulate it.
And
so
Ben,
it's like
it doesn't get better. That's cut you off, son.
You straight.
But it doesn't get better when they come to hit their 50s either. It's even worse because now they've made all kinds of fucked up decisions in their lives. They all kinds of baggage, all kinds of miscommunication, lies, all that shit. And now they're in their 50s saying, God damn it, I want that nice guy. I didn't want that nice guy first. I want the bad boy first. And then they gave the years. And I call it GPYs. They're good pussy years. They gave all the good pussy years like sand hourglass. They kept giving it up, and now they're in their 50s. No more good years in their pussy glass, but now they need that love. But the guy they're looking for no longer exists. He's an illusion. He's a dream. And now they got nothing but regrets. And they're looking forward to someone just take the vessel that is here and just give me some happiness before I check out this game called life. It's sad. It's very, very sad. So to tell you from years down the road, it doesn't look good. To see where you are is a beautiful thing. And as my man said, he's 28. He sees a different stage. So we're telling you different stages, and we're telling you people out there, don't keep fucking around and playing games with people. You need to know what you want and first of all, who are you first? And then once you know who you are, you can go out there and play the game because you're looking for somebody that's going to fulfill what you're looking for. Not play that game with my looks and all that shit. All that shit passes. All that shit fades. So you better love her for whoever she is, not for what she looks like, because it's going to fade. And you better have something to keep going.
Whoever they are.
Yes.
Period.
Whoever they are.
Like I said, without going too deep with it, we know each other's strengths, right? Because obviously, being your son, I learned from you.
Mm-hmm.
But by the same token, I know your strengths when it comes to your relationship with mom, and I also know your weaknesses with that as well.
Absolutely.
But you two know each other's weaknesses and strengths as well, and compensate for that accordingly. I've never seen people at my age, or even people who are older, who are married, communicate as much as y'all do in terms of just little things like, okay, I'm thinking about what we're gonna do for dinner. It's not I'm going to pick such and such. Mm-hmm. It's always, hey, what do you think? I kind of wanted such and such. All right, cool. Like let's do that, or like let's go try something. All right, what do you want to try? I don't know. Like it's the little things, guys. It's the little things that like you never think about, but to me, I've realized are like the biggest indicators of a relationship. Like if y'all struggle to find things to eat because y'all can't agree on what to eat, and nobody's willing to just say, you know what, it's not even that deep. Like no one's willing to say that. Everybody's ready to sit here and like fight about this. Oh, I want to go out this weekend. I'm busy. I got things I want to do. Can we do it next weekend? It's not a fight. It's all right, cool. We just push it to next weekend. I really want to go to such and such. Day of. I don't want to do this anymore. All right, then we don't do it. Mm-hmm. It's little things. It's the little things that people refuse to communicate about or steadfast slam their flag into the earth. And it's like, it's silly. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, if y'all really truly fuck with each other, like, you're going to make it work. Right. And you're sitting here at a very critical stage where he has to make a decision. 21, fresh out of college, like, you got choices you got to make. Absolutely. Some of them might work out. Some of them might not work out. You have no clue, but you got to try.
Absolutely. You got to try. You have to. And, so and that's, this discussion we're having, we're going to have this all summer. Because, Ben, we're going to have this discussion again. We're going to be talking about some other things, aren't we, my friend?
Of course.
Yeah, because we got to bring him on here. We got to do a music conversation.
Yes.
You know that, right? We got to sit down here and actually like showcase man's in his element. Because we always have this conversation
I'll hop in my duffel.
Hey man, we always talk about
how
rap music has changed up and like how it's a negative influence, shit like that. So, hey man, we're gonna bring Mans back on here. We also game, so y'all might have some gaming conversation. Next time we come here, everybody just be shooting the shit. Who knows? But hey man, I appreciate you stopping by, bro. I appreciate you showing up and giving us some great information. that, as always, I'm always behind the camera, but now first time actually on screen with you. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
man. Absolutely. My man who makes the magic. And, and like
in the kitchen sometimes,
you will. You always are. You're always in the kitchen. And Ben, what you want to say to wrap this particular episode up, man?
If we don't learn how to fucking communicate with each other, it's hopeless.
Brother, I can't. I dropped the fucking mic. I dropped the mic. That's a wrap. So y'all peoples, we're gonna come back for some more discussion. This is some table talk with the fellas. Listen, once we put everything together, I'll let you know how to connect with us and everything. But listen, we talk about this all summer. So come on back, enjoy us, and like I said, you're gonna have the fellas talking again. Until then, peace and love, peoples.